Hey, come on in. Mike, right?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing? Daryl. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So from what I understand, you're here today to talk about your military service and your joint service transcript and how you can get college credit for what you've done. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple systems here and get an idea of what's going on. You may have heard of the SMART transcript in the past, but now all the branches have come together and we currently use the JST. The only caveat to this is the Air Force, which has the College of the Air Force, so their credits are transferred like any other institution of higher learning. The JST shows how the American Council on Education, or ACE, evaluated your experiences from the military, and it gives a recommendation of how that experience translates into college credit. A key point to remember, it's a recommendation. It's always up to the school to decide whether or not they want to accept the credit recommendations. The first thing you'll want to do is find your JST. You can do a quick search for it using a search engine, or you can just type in the web address to your address bar. The website is going to ask you to log in. If you have used the website before and don't remember your username and password, that's fine. The website asks you to just go ahead and register for a new account. Click on the register button and fill out your information. The website is going to ask you to create a username, enter a valid email address, your social security number, your last and first name, your date of birth, and you'll have to create a password. After you log into the system, you're going to come to a screen where it's going to give you different options for your joint service transcript. Let's take a look at your transcript. Click on the Transcripts button. Options available will be slightly different for each branch of the service. For the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard, the Combo Report is going to bring all the reports together into one. For the Army, the transcript and summary are separate. Let's break it down so you can understand the key information you'll need to keep in mind as you're evaluating it for credits. At the top is the header information, which will have your name and rank. Rank is important, and we'll talk about that later. As you move down the page, you will see descriptions of some of the different courses you took throughout your career. You will see a label called an ACE identifier. The ACE identifier is the reference code for a course and will be used when you look up the course on the ACE website. The ACE website will give you more detailed information about each course. These are known as learning outcomes, which are important when you're talking to schools because that is the language they use. Next to the ACE identifier, you may see a version code, example V01, V02, etc. The code is a designator for the date range when you did the course. When you go into the ACE website and enter the ACE identifier, you will also have to select the date range, which will result in a different credit recommendation. Below the ACE identifier, you will see the name of the course. Below that, a short synopsis of what you learned. If you notice, it doesn't talk about the learning outcomes in the synopsis section, which is where the ACE website comes into play. Below the synopsis section, you'll see the credit recommendations from ACE. The recommendation consists of a title for the class equivalency, an example, marksmanship, or personal finance. To the right of that will be the semester hour recommendation, followed by a L for lower level, U for upper level, V for vocational, or a G for graduate level. The transcript is broken down into 4 main sections: military courses, which are schools or classes that were completed; military experience, which shows the things that we learned from doing your job; college level test scores, which is going to show you the results of any college level exams you may have taken; and other learning experiences, which shows the things you may have done which were not evaluated by ACE, with a code giving the reason why. After those pieces, you will have a page which serves as a legend for the JST, giving you more detailed information about each piece of it. Now that we have an understanding of the format and information contained in the JST, let's look at how to evaluate military experiences into college credit. Okay, Mike. So I also want you to understand as we go through this that there's basically 2 ways that your military credit can be transferred into the school. The first one is as elective. So with electives, basically It's going to take what you did in the military. An example, if you were a tanker and you're trying to go for an art degree or psychology, it's really not going to equal out. Doesn't, there's not a lot of things you did as a tanker. But those will give you electives, and those electives means you're not going to have to take as many classes. Right? You're not going to be spending as much money. But sometimes there are skills that you did get from the military. An example, public speaking, and you want to get an equivalency for it. So with public speaking, you're trying to say, hey, I've already done all this stuff. And you have to be able to show them that you've met that through your experience or your training in the military. To do that, we're going to go ahead and go into the ACE website. We're going to take a look at it and get a better idea of how that works, all right? To locate the ACE website, you will want to search for the American Council on Education Military Guide in a search engine, or type the address into your address bar. The Military Guide landing page has a lot of good information. It is recommended to read through the overview information and go through the related content section to get more detailed information about how to use the Military Guide. We're going to move along and take a deeper look at a specific course for equivalency. The course we are evaluating is Formal School Instructor, and we want to get an equivalency for public speaking. If you look at the JST, it gives a brief synopsis of the skills learned during the course. Now, let's look at what ACE gives you. Click on the Search Courses button. There are a lot of options available. The fastest and easiest way is to use the ACE identifier we learned about earlier. Click on the course in the search results and it will take you to the course exhibit page. As you can see, there's a lot more information here about the course, and the formatting is much easier to process when evaluating for equivalency. The key things you will want to talk about with your advisor is how the word picture from the Learning Outcomes section matches up with the learning outcomes for the class you're trying to get an equivalency for. The other pieces of information, which will also be very valuable, are the amount of hours, which will show how well it matches up. The instruction method is good for faculty to compare what you did to what they are doing. And the most important part is the credit recommendation, which shows what level and general type the course falls into. The other part of the ACE website we will go over is the Search Occupation section. This section will give recommendations for credit from your military job and rank. Let's look at a specific example. Again, there are different ways to look it up. The ACE identifier for this will be found in the Military Experience section of the JST, which is good if you know the specific thing you're looking for. The other way to search is by putting in the information in the filters to search from a broader perspective if you do not have the ACE identifier available. We will do a search using the second method so you have a better idea of how the system works. Select from the drop-down Navy Enlisted. Then type in the occupation title, Corpsman, and click the search button. When searching by the ACE identifier, you will get a specific result. When doing a general search, you will have different options based on the dates the job was evaluated. Select the most recent evaluation, Hospital Corpsman, October 2005 through July 2015. You will come to the occupation exhibit page. Moving down the page, you have the career pattern, which gives the description for each of the rates. The next section is description, which gives a summary of what each rank's duties and responsibilities consist of. The next two sections will give you the basis for relating college credit for your work experience. Related competencies is going to give you an overview of all the skills learned and used, similar to the learning outcomes from the course section. The last section is the credit recommendation based on rank. Again, schools may choose what they are going to accept, whether they are going to grant an equivalency or only elective credit. It's up to you to advocate on your behalf and relate your experiences to the course you're trying to get equivalencies for. Okay, Mike, that pretty much covers everything for the ACE website and your joint service transcript. That's going to give you a lot of the tools that you're going to need to be successful. From here, if you need any help, make sure you talk to the admissions office, registrar's office, financial aid. Most important person right now is your advisor. So if you got any questions for the school certifying official, let them know. Everybody's here to help you out and make sure that you get the most bang for your buck, get the credits that you deserve. But you need to get that appointment set up with your advisor and get this process started. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, I don't. Thank you for the help.
I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.